Good day. My name is Keshia Marthinus and I'm a Candidate Legal Practitioner for Unisa Law Clinic based in Cape Town. Firstly, I would like to thank the head of the Law Clinic, Advocate Morata, for allowing us to host this seminar, and my fellow colleagues, Sifiso, Kapucho, and Seko, who participated in this program. I would also like to apologize for the inconvenience we might have caused due to the live not being able to proceed as planned. Our initial goal was to ensure that we help bridge the gap that we see in the public when people die without wills. Wills Week is an important week within South Africa, where there are many firms doing wills on behalf of clients for free. This Wills Week occurs during the 11th to the 15th of September 2023. During this week, members of the public will be able to get their wills drafted for free by attorneys. In order to find out which attorneys are participating in this initiative, you can either go to the Legal Practice Council or check their website. My duty today is to address questions asked and then to answer them. However, I would like to highlight important factors my colleagues had addressed. In order for a will to be valid, there are many certain aspects that has to be met. While each person may be unique, for a will to be valid, it has to be in writing. Another important aspect is that you might appoint anyone as your executor or executrix, which is the female name for an executor, as long as they can divide your estate to your wishes. An executor is the person who will make sure your property is divided according to your wishes that were set out in your will. They even settle any of your outstanding debts. The executor has many important duties, and thus it is important for you to make a careful consideration when it comes to nominating an executor. If your gross value of your estate is more than 250,000 Rand, the executor will have to draw up a liquidation and distribution account, also known as an L&D account. And this is not an easy task. As mentioned during our first seminar, not having a will can make the process of distributing your assets longer, and therefore your family may have to deal with the distribution themselves, and this may result in family feuds. One of the questions that was asked was whether a will can be contested. Yes, it can. If you are under the belief that the will is not a valid will, you have the right to contest the will. Please take note that whoever alleges this has to prove that the will is not a valid will, and the contesting has to be done in the High Court. The High Court will look at the evidence alleged and based on that declare the will to be either valid or invalid. The second question was who and how is the executor paid and how much? As previously mentioned, an executor is the person who has the duty to wind up the estate by distributing the estate as per the wishes of the testator. The executor is paid from the assets of the estate. An executor is entitled to 3.5% of the gross value of the estate, excluding VAT. The executor is only entitled to be paid if he or she is registered. The third question is, what happens when a man is not married but dies while cohabitating with someone, and if she is entitled to anything? Unfortunately, if the couple is only cohabitating with one another, they are not entitled to inherit under the intestate succession. However, depending on how long they were cohabitating, and if they had a reciprocal duty to one another, in other words, they were living as husband and wife even though they were not married, she may have a right to claim for maintenance from the estate in terms of the State Succession Act. If there is valid will that stipulates she is entitled to inherit, then the executor will follow the will and she will be entitled to inherit from the estate. The fourth question is, what happens in circumstances where the property is held by a trust? A trust is a legal entity in which the assets will be held, and they won't be held by the person who inherits the assets. No one has the direct right to the asset until the condition has been met. One of these conditions could be that the minor has become 18 years old. The last question I have noted is, who safekeeps the will? There are firms or companies who, once they have drafted the will on your behalf, they will keep the will for you at a fee and give you a copy as well. In this circumstance, it is dependent on who creates the will for you, and if you do it by yourself, then you have to ensure that you keep the will in a safe place. This is really important as the master requests the original will. It would be best that you keep the original will in a safe place and give a copy to a trusted person, as well as inform them as to where the original will is kept. I would like to thank everyone for viewing and to remind you that the date for Wills Week is the 11th to the 15th of September 2023. Thank you so much for your time.